Heyo everyone and welcome. I'm your friend Art of Mana, and I'm a little bit frustrated with technology because, as you probably have gathered, in addition to some hiccups with the game I was streaming earlier, I also had some internet issues. And so I did end up having to reset my router. I tried in a vain attempt to notify everyone through my phone and Twitch on my phone, and I wasn't able to do that either. So here we are with what I'm calling a little bonus stream, just chatting, just just talking. Platinum Trophy Review, thank you for being here. To everyone here, maybe a little unorthodox to just sit here and chat a bit about gripes. I certainly don't want to be a streamer known for not, for bringing people down or things like that. But I think this is a very real part of what I do, and I guess I feel like it might as well come straight from me as I share a little bit about some of these frustrations, and you can feel free to ask me or whatever the case may be. This is just the way streaming goes sometimes. You've got a lot of moving parts, you've got a lot of technical considerations, and it can be difficult. And I've thought a lot about a lot of the different ways that that streaming can be complex and difficult. It's certainly something where at times it can feel disheartening when you feel like things aren't quite going right, It's what happens when you live a technology life, right? Platinum Trophy Review. It's not just the technology though, it's kind of the whole thing. Sometimes you have an off night. I don't know that tonight felt off for me, but and even now, what is going on here? This is strange. Mega Queen gently pats me on the head. I feel like, and I don't know, I just kind of brought up some stats from the stream. Jam Doggy just got here. What did I miss? Oh, we had another internet outage. I'm just sitting and chatting here. I'm just sitting in here, just talking. We had a good stream. We actually I enjoyed it. I was looking at stats. It seems like right now, am I missing something? It seems like the whole stream we were sitting at something along the lines of maybe 10 max people watching the stream, and right now all of a sudden I'm seeing this big thing like 30 people are watching. What? What is going on?
Thanks so much for
Scooter's hosting. I really don't know. I don't know. But we're not dropping any frames, that's a good thing. Yeah, no, and we did have some pretty fun, Jam Doggy, thank you for coming. We had some pretty fun glitches that we experienced in the stream. Okay, Mega Queen says, we're just like, what the heck are you doing up right now? It is pretty late. So we had some interesting glitches, and then we had, what else did we have? We had the internet cut out. So right towards the end of the stream, everything started crashing, and you heard my voice, but we're getting a couple of frames. I did a quick scan of my internet while I just quickly stopped the stream, and I ended up getting back about three download. Usually we get 300, and something like 0.5 upload. We usually get 10. So not ideal for streaming. Not ideal for streaming. So yeah, I don't know. I thought, wait, I don't want to just end the stream and just call it a night. I'd rather just talk about it. But yeah, no, I mean, I maybe I have to talk myself into some positivity, because that can hit you hard, when you come across something that doesn't go right. When I started streaming, I was very intentional about, preparing before each stream, and I started that early. I really would like for all of my streams to be really solid and to go well and smoothly and everything like that. But that isn't always the case, of course. One of the things I've thought a lot about is how do I maintain the good that was in the early streams and yet try to grow. I think growth is necessary for a few reasons, but I know some people who have sort of disagreed with me on that. I think it is important. If what I'm trying to do, if I believe in what I'm trying to do, and what I'm trying to do is beyond just sort of, I mean, I'm not seeking fame or fortune here. I hope in the future to seek a living. But I do think that on one sense, what I'm doing is sharing my love of gaming, and I hope that people see what I'm doing in the way that I'm trying to present it. Because what I want to do is actually give a broad look at games and this art form that actually has been very important in my life. And of course, you know, for me, most of that is Nintendo games. Alpha Fusion, hello. No. We're just doing whatever this is. I'm just chatting. I don't know what this is. Mega Queen can't get over the jazz in the background during this monologue. I'm glad you like it. I thought I needed something back there. But yeah, no, so on the one hand, I'm trying to bring something real, genuine, just of my love of video games. But on the other hand, I'm also trying to be positive and bring about something positive. I'm trying to, I'm trying to have at least a section of the internet be some place where people feel welcome, and where people feel that they can, they can hang out free of what? I feel like I've got like fuzz on my, or is that just gray hair? I'm getting old. See, I'm getting old. I'm trying to bring something of value, be a role model, share a little bit, I don't know. It's interesting. It's going to be a long road ahead, I think, with streaming. What are we talking about specifically? I don't know. I'm in a strange mood because the stream, I don't know. This is my, I probably shouldn't be live right now chat, right? This is my real talk with Mana, like Mana raw and uncut, feeling kind of down because I don't know why. I love streaming, and yet yeah, I walk away from it, and don't get me wrong, like, I wouldn't be doing, if I was really, like, upset, like, if I was at the point where, I just want to throw my hands up and be like, I'm done with streaming, like, I wouldn't be doing this. And that rarely, if ever, does actually come. Like, I've had the experience of thinking about stopping streaming before. I have, truthfully. For various difficulties and whatnot, but this is definitely not one of them. Yeah, this is me. However, maybe just trying to be honest and raw with you, and I don't know. I have high hopes for things. This stream, all of this. I was attempting to do a stream that was of this racing game, which for me was really exciting. It's a game I very much enjoyed, and a game which I was given a review copy of for the Switch, which was really exciting for me. It makes me feel somewhat validated to know that a company would say, yeah, we looked at your content, we trust that you could do a stream for this, and yet here's the eternal struggle with Twitch: is you play something that isn't in that top spot, and people are reluctant to take the risk to come and watch based on the game you're playing. And I think, if I'm really honest with all of you, the gaming side of streaming and Twitch, I've always been a little bit hesitant on, because I think there's a fine line between we are just essentially streaming the content, the creations of others here, and not really adding our own. And so for me, I would like, it would make me feel better if I thought that people came to streams because of me, right? More than the game. And I understand some games people aren't going to want to watch be played or reviewed or whatnot. I get that. But I hope that I can somehow figure out a way to balance streaming in a way that it's focused on our relationships and maybe something that I can give that, again, only I can give because it's me. Otherwise, you could go play the games for yourself, right? So I don't know. I'm not sure where that is. Yeah. Alpha says, "Oh man, well, I'd say do speaking about careers, do what makes you happy. I came to hang out with you. Hope that's enough." Alpha, yeah, actually that means a lot to me. Like, you came in, you're like, "Hey, did I miss the stream?" Like, no, actually, that's awesome that you came. Yeah, I'm not, and please, I'm not trying to, I hope I'm not saying anything like putting my foot in my mouth. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad here, or like I'm not appreciative of what you're doing, like just being in my life. Because that's a huge thing right there, and more than I think people realize. Like, being able to talk to you and get to know you is huge. And sometimes people take for granted that, you know, I'm actually a real person on the other side of the screen, or a streamer is a real person on the other side of the screen. And when you do leave, and I've been guilty of this too, I've frankly, there are certain streamers that I've kind of not gone back to for a very long time, and there are times that I certainly could. And I feel bad about that, because as I think about it, it's like, you know, I wonder what they're thinking. Why did that person never come back? Angelo, Angelo just came back and said, "Art of Mana, I'm sorry for the harsh sentence that I said on you live earlier." And actually, to be perfectly honest, since I am being raw, that did hurt, you know. And I appreciate you apologizing. For those of you who didn't catch it, Angelo, I'm not gonna say bad things here about Angelo. Angelo's been so kind since we met, and he's been so exuberantly, enthusiastically supportive of myself and Selecting Start. And yet I know, Angelo, I think you probably recognize it too. You've asked a lot of me, and I, you know, my time in messages and what games to play and whatnot. And I forget, frankly, exactly what you said, but I know that you had said something, I think somewhat jokingly, but I asked you to stop, and then when you didn't, I just purged your message there, thinking it somewhat inappropriate. Not, mind you, not like super crossing the line, but it crossed enough of a line that I purged it. And I thought about that, like, since that point. I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if how Angelo's doing, you know, because I don't want to hurt anyone. That's never my intention. And part of streaming is making decisions on the fly, acting off the cuff. And so, you know, this might seem disingenuous, but I am sorry for any hurt I've caused you, Angelo, and I'm glad you're back, because I was afraid of how you might have felt, and that probably colored more of the stream than I let on. In fact, I thought about it quite a bit. And then when I actually looked at one point to see if, Angelo, if you were still in the chat, because I was worried. I thought, oh, I don't know, and I said something, you didn't respond. So I ended up looking at how many people were watching, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, that this is not good, because you know, I thought, oh my gosh, you know, Angelo is not here, and then I looked and I saw, oh man, there's there's nobody here, kind of thing, and that of course colors how you feel about things. Tops, apparently I have a spider on my shoulder.
Welcome to the Friends of Mana. Thanks for being here.
It's this scary spider. Angelo, please be kind, even if someone is lightly trolling or whatnot. Tops, it's all right. Thank you for the follow anyway, but yeah, no, the whole spider thing, it's a good way to enter into, you know, it's a funny joke and all, but anyways, but Angelo, yeah, no, I mean, you also gotta be kind, right? I'm missing some. I want to have just chat. I'm just having like an honest chat with you. Like, this is kind of like a Mana Manor hangout, only with better audio quality, because most of you who hang out in Mana Manor chats know my audio quality lately. I've been using like these. Well, I've been using these, that my just iPhone mic. It's not the best, right? Mega Queen, or sorry, Alpha says, or sorry, all kinds of stuff. Scooter says, I'm truly glad to have met you, Art of Mana. And Scooter, likewise to you, and I appreciate that. And Mega Queen, Sam says, it's honestly very rare when I venture out to find new streamers. Typically, I find them through hosts via streams I'm active in, or through chat. Then I stay for the personality. I never care what game they're playing. And I think that's one way that people sometimes do it, right? Jam Doggy says, I have to agree with Alpha as well. I watch as many of your streams as I can, regardless of what game you're playing. You do play good games, but you make it fun to watch them. Thank you, Jam Doggy. And Alpha can see the appreciation, so that's a good thing. Mega Queen says, sure, I tend to lurk when it's a game I don't find particularly interesting, but what typically keeps me in a stream is conversation and interaction. So I probably should have been reading this sooner, right? You definitely have offered a lot of that from the get-go, and I think your stream is very unlike most of the other streams I watch in a good way. Well, thank you. Alpha says, man, I don't want to seem like I'm asking far too much. I just wanted to check if there's going to be any Mario Kart 8 streams anytime soon. I missed the one you had on Monday. Yeah, Angela was here. Angela joined yesterday. Yeah, well, I just did a poll. I just did a survey, rather. Not a poll, a survey. I just put it out there on Twitter and on my Discord. And I'm putting my leg up. I'm like sitting, yeah, I'm just gonna like sit here. I'm just gonna get comfortable. I'm just gonna slide the mic a little closer. Just get like nice radio voice. I'm just gonna like take this corner. So we're just gonna lean back here a little bit. Hope you're all doing well. Settle in, everyone. We're gonna talk a little more today. Yeah, I just did a survey actually about what games people would like to see me play, and I put it up, like I said, Twitter, Discord. You can add to it now. I kind of looked at games that I've for a very long time been wanting to play, and things that I haven't had a chance to, things that I've more or less been setting aside, saving for that right time, but the right time's not going to come if I keep thinking that way. So anyways, it's been interesting. A lot of good feedback. Probably no surprise to anyone. The current contender, at least at the time before the stream that I looked, the top contender for a game people were interested in was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, which I don't have, but I'm absolutely wanting and willing to get. So that was kind of cool. I guess that's somewhat not surprising, but it, but yeah, as far as Mario Kart, because I'm not really answering your question, I think probably what I would like to do ideally is get to a point where I could play a good mix of games. And as I was saying earlier, my love of gaming is so important to me and such a big part of why I'm streaming. I do think that for me, video games interest me beyond like playing through and beating one game. I've got a large backlog of games I haven't played through. Some of them I do want to play through, and then there are a lot of games I just want to highlight and show as a little experience within an experience. Say like, this is something here that you could maybe be interested in. And so ideally I want to actually find a balance where I could play like some things like the kind of perennial games like the Mario Kart, where we could play together and have fun, that a lot of people have, and do that like once a week. This is what I'm hoping for when I try and spend more time, do like full-time streaming, is to have some of those streams where we can play together, and then also have the streams where I'm playing obscure things like I did tonight, and hopefully people will come. Like that's the hard part, because I want for people to see what I'm doing. Like I want people to actually see these games. Like I want to highlight them. And then, there's probably what I was kind of looking at, with this whole survey is, wouldn't it be kind of cool if I could do something where I have like a themed week or month? And so I put that out as like the first part of the survey. And so like kind of theme this week or month around similar either visual aesthetics or story elements or settings or play types. Yes, Platinum, we have to have our meeting sometime soon, because that's exactly like, yeah, we need to talk about this kind of stuff. Yeah, we do need to do that. Platinum is offering a chance for me to chat and kind of the new like social media and survey and marketing kind of stuff, which I think will be actually really helpful. But yeah, I want to do these like themed weeks and months, and then do like a long play that would go throughout the month, that like maybe one day a week would always be this game. And then have to balance it with some of the crowd pleasers, and I enjoy those too. So it's not like I'm just trying to like pander to like get a follow, but I mean that's also kind of, if I'm honest, that's what I'm doing. I mean and I talk to other streamers, and it seems like we all know it. We know the Twitch algorithm is such that you have to play certain games because well, you don't have to, but if you want to grow, which it's this catch-22, because like if you don't grow, then you're not. I mean, I guess why do I want to grow? It's a question I've asked myself, and I don't have a solid answer right now. I wish I did. Scooter is literally saving money for a Mana meetup, that's kind of cool. That's pretty awesome, actually, because I would love to do that. I would love to do that. And we would stream. I mean, it. In fact, yeah, we'd have to. Angelo says, yes, go live on PlayStation or Xbox. Sure, it'll be awesome. Asks if I'm going to get the PlayStation 1 Classic Mini, which actually, no. I'm not. I liked the hardware. I was optimistic at first, but the biggest, there's like 3 problems for me. One is I think the software looks sloppy. The interface is just, it could have looked so much nicer and so much more nostalgic, but it's just very bare bones basic. The game selection does not have as much games as I think represent the system, represent the PlayStation as it should. It doesn't have the definitive PlayStation 1 games on it that it should. And most of the games don't really interest me. And then this is the biggest deal breaker. They chose to have a mix of regional variations of the game. So the mix includes like about half of the games are PAL region. I think half, maybe not quite. Don't quote me on that. But a significant amount of them are PAL region. And if you know anything about PAL versus like US NTSC, the PAL region runs at 50 hertz, and so you're going to have a slower gameplay. It can affect audio. It can affect the speed of the game. So you're not getting like the authentic experience. So that's why I'm not getting that. Alpha says, "Oh man, I was busy today, so I couldn't make it to your stream." And yeah, no, it's all right. It's okay. Bob says, "I don't care what you stream, friend. I'll be there. That said, I'm more there anytime there's 16-bit pixel art involved." And Angelo says, "In the Philippines, our TV settings are set to NTSC." See, there you go. So like if you got a PlayStation Classic Mini, you wouldn't get the full like experience, unfortunately. Or like the experience of what you grew up with. Or I don't think you grew up with the PlayStation, so. Scooter says, "It's sad because it had huge potential, but it's falling flat." It really did. Like it would have, in fact, hardware alone, it looked like it was going to be great, and then it just sort of, unfortunately, it was the software side. It looked like it was just not the attention to detail that like Nintendo has, and hopefully I have. But my problem is like Nintendo actually pulls it off. I feel like I do try things and then things don't work right. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say all these things like I'm having this really bad day and I'm just bemoaning everything that's wrong. Like, at the end of the day, I look forward to streaming so much. I enjoy the time I spend doing the behind the scenes things, the working on the website, the getting the images done for live announcements and for the schedules. I enjoy all of that. And you know, setting up my overlays and alerts and all the creative side of it is important to me. That's a big part of what drew me to this as well. But Alpha says, "It's not okay. I want to be there to support." Thank you, Alpha. You see, I feel like no matter what I say, this is the hard part. Like, I feel like I say things and it gets me in trouble. And if I don't say something, it gets me in trouble. And I'm not sure what to say and when to say it. Someone's always going to be upset at me. That's one of the things I found out. And that's the part that hurts the most about streaming. Like I get it. I understand YouTubers and streamers who talk about this and talk about taking the comments personally. And look, you can say all you want about let it roll off your back like a duck. But oh man, I've never been good at that. I was heavily bullied my freshman year of high school. That was my hardest year of schooling, and ever since then it's taken a lot for me to be able to just brush off other people's feelings toward me. Maybe before that too, but that was when I kind of became aware of it. So. You know, and I don't, and a lot of, and I don't think it's just that I want people to have a good impression of me. It's that I don't want to hurt someone else. Like, I don't want to offend someone else. So if I have like that, I want to know why and how I can improve. And that's a real struggle. But like, I feel like even in saying all these things, like there's a part of me that wants to just say, look, honestly, I'm scared because I want to make this something that could be a source of income, and it would have to be a source of income. I need, I need health insurance. I need the benefits of a job, and to be able to afford those things on my own if I do it this way, right? And let alone to be able to eat and continue putting putting time, energy, effort, money into streaming. So there's like a part of me that wants to just be like, please help, push for partner. Everyone come, everyone watch. All hands on deck. Like, there's a part of me that wants to say it. And then there's like a part of me that's like, I don't want to come across as pushy. And I know that I don't like when I watch streamers that seem like they're just aggressively pushing. It's all about the making this a job, and the thing about money is like you bring up money, and honestly it's hard whether you do it or you don't. I had I've had this conversation in many forms with other streamers to pick their brains about it, and it's like it really is. It's whether you do or you don't, you're making a mistake. If you do, you're probably driving some people away who don't want to hear anything about that, right? Like they're here for the games they're here for something, and it's not that. And if you don't, like, people never know that you have any of these ways to monetize what you're doing that like you rely on to continue doing it. And I'm in the difficult thing of like, I started this and it was very much in hobby territory. It was like, let's see where this leads. And I didn't expect it to end up the way that it did, where it was like, I could see this being more than just hobby. And yeah, I'm connected to it in a very, I think, I'm connected to it in a way that I'm not sure I have the words or want to put them in words at the moment, but yeah. Scooter says, I was skeptical since I have my PS3 that can play my physical PS1 games, but after all this, I cannot purchase the PS1 Classic. I know what you mean. Alpha says, you're such a nice guy. I wish I could meet you in person. Aw. Thank you. So you're meaning that you want to have fun while working? Well, I mean, here's the truth. What I do for my work, my career, I love. And it's just, I see what I do now kind of evolving into Twitch, which I know is a little bit vague, and I apologize for that. Yeah, but that's what I'm still trying to put words to. Yeah, this is kind of fun. This is essentially this is like a way of me processing thoughts. I do this a lot. Like, my closest friends, what we'll do is we'll just sit down and we'll hang out, grab a chair, maybe over some food, whatever. We'll just talk and we'll have a back and forth. And what you're seeing really, and I guess I kind of knew this was going to happen, but you're seeing me processing things out loud, thinking out loud, so to speak. So yeah, I'm Alpha says, hey, am I right you're a father? Yeah, I'm a husband, a father, a full-time worker, full-time employee, and I basically, am trying to look at how can I how could streaming be a part of my future? I'm also I'm getting older. Like, there's a lot of, I mean, I'm not old, but I'm older. I mean, there's a lot of, people out of high school that are doing really well with Twitch and everything. So I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Angelo asks if I saw his message. Yeah, and why did Sony release it in the first place for December 3rd? That's a good question. As far as the PlayStation Mini, that's an odd time to do it. It's an odd time to do it. Scooter says, I always love our chit chats. I do too. PTR says, when I recently did my t-shirt project, I had complete haters, but I also had complete supporters of what I was doing, even though it involved money. It's not gonna be easy. Alpha asks how old my daughter. She is close to 3. She's getting close to 3. Sam says, thank you for being honest and talking about it like this, Mana. It's very important to do this from time to time, and I know sometimes being this transparent may be difficult, but it's good to know what you're thinking about and what path you may be considering. Thank you. Yeah, it is tough, and I don't know the best ways. Like, actually, a lot of things I do feel like one of the hardest things about streaming is actually communication. I think people are so busy right now in this era, and we have so many forms of communication and entertainment, and so we don't actually have the time to sit and have a conversation or really invest in any one thing. And I agree, Angelo. It was very nice of Sam to say that message. Streaming is in many ways kind of representative of, we move to these different streams. Like, we're one person's done, we go to the other. But yeah, I mean, I put a lot of time into communicating. I feel through my Discord and Twitter, through my State of the Mana videos, I think I've got most of what I want out there. And then through the streams, I feel like this is kind of where a lot of people hear the information, because I repeat it to some extent, but also there's new information that comes out in streams that I don't think to, or I don't want to put out in the other forms. So there's that too. But I mean, no matter what, even when I feel like I'm doing my best, I still feel like communication is such a struggle. It's really tough to get communication there. Yeah. BTR says, I'm gonna get a snack in before bed, but it was a pleasure talking to you and everyone tonight. I hope to play some Rocket League with you tomorrow. I look forward to that. That'll be really fun. So yeah, let's definitely do that. And Alpha says that I'm gonna be an amazing father. Thank you so much. Apparently, Mega Queen said that as well. And Angelo says, why not make an IG gaming page? I don't really know that much about them. I do have my blog and my website. I think what I'd like to do is have a website be sort of the hub, and I would have I actually would like to do more with my blog, and actually like to have reviews there up on the blog, and then I'd like to have streaming be, this is where I get to do the improvisation of game review and sharing myself and my hopefully positive role model for people, and then I would like to have YouTube be something that I do more of, but I'm not sure where that's gonna fit in. Like, I'm not really a YouTuber. I've put a few, I'm doing more now. Some things, like the McDonald's toy one, was really popular. People seem to like that a lot. But in terms of views and everything, I mean, I have 66 followers on YouTube. Kind of clear that that's not my focus, but Twitch always has been. I feel like I really enjoy that there's this tension of how to do things well, and you bring everything prepared, and yet things can fall apart. Like tonight with the stream, we had the glitches, so we just made it work. We just had fun, and then we had the tech problems, so that happened as well, and we had the internet go out, so we had to do what we're doing now. And I don't know. And Scooter, I'll be playing Rocket League, the Steam version, but of course it'll be crossplay. I don't have the Switch version yet, but hey, you know what? While we're here, who knows what we're doing. I mean, it is now midnight. This is actually firmly moving into the territory of late night chats with friends, spilling our souls. But there, again, there's a little bit of the difficulty. I do need to be aware of, I need to be aware of making sure that I don't, I have to protect my own, I have to be protective of myself and my family, right? It's a strange thing about streaming is like, and I'm trying to figure out that right balance, but I need to make sure that I don't. I mean, there's a reason I don't say Ms. Mana or Baby Mana's name in streams. I think it's important that I keep some degree of anonymity, though. Of course, I mean, no one who actually does become big, like, we know Ninja's real name, we know the big streamers' names, at a certain point, it's a moot point. I'll probably never be a ninja, so I am not too worried about that. But I do want to make sure that I'm being sensitive to, protecting that and protecting some of my own, kind of personal information. It's why I don't celebrate birthdays on Twitch. And things like that. So, and yet, I need to figure out, because there's stuff that's very like personal that I want to share too. You know what I mean? And like I'm doing tonight. So finding that line can be a little bit challenging, especially now as I'm kind of starting to figure it a little bit more. And Alpha says, I really enjoy that you're talking to us, which is super awesome. Like I've said in the past, your communication with your followers is so awesome. I appreciate that so much. I mean, and I try to be available, and like maybe I should do more of this, just kick back. Next time I'll actually take down the green screen, sit on the couch. I do that now, but the mic wouldn't pick up as well. So Angelo asks about my glasses. I'm not sure what the prescription is. It's a probably slightly lighter than medium prescription, and I am nearsighted, so I actually can take this off and like read a book, no problem, play a video game. Actually, I can put my hand out, like that, and I can see my hand with perfect clarity, no problems. I can read the chat on the screen right there, no problems. So we're all good there. Tops says, I'm sorry for trying to troll you before. No problem, Tops. It's all right. I wasn't too worried there. it's all good. The spider thing, I've heard that one before. You watched a YouTube video doing it. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know. That seemed pretty harmless to me, but I do think there's a lot of people that, are pretty sensitive to that, to any level of trolling, and I think probably for some good reason. I don't think this was necessarily meant to be harmful, because I mean, I'm literally looking at myself being recorded. I knew there was no spider on my shoulder, right? So it seemed pretty harmless. Once you start, if it was really mean, right, then that's an issue. But Tops, how are you doing? What's up? How are you doing? And yeah, Angelo, we're cutting Tops a break. We're cutting Tops a break. Please be kind to Tops. What I've said before is this whole channel is meant to be E for everyone. We want it to be welcoming and inviting, right? So that's the important part. Bob says, I do like the notion that Ms. and Mini Mana are in the Batcave protecting their secret identities with masks and capes, right? And Alpha, you're not asking too many questions at all. In fact, anyone, just ask me. It's fine. No problem. Ask away. We're just chatting. I'm just... whatever. Whatever. What I was going to do, however, is pull up the survey that I put out about what games people would like to see played. And I'm going to just kind of go over some of the current stuff with you. So, all right. Angelo says, no, it'll be rated E plus 10, everyone 10 and up. I did go off the ESRB, though. I'm going to get Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Scooter. That's what I want to do. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tops. I am so sorry, Tops. Now, please do forgive me because I'm going to say this. There are people who will troll with this, and I think this is where it does become inappropriate. But if you tell me if it is a troll now, I will you know, we can move on. No harm, no foul. But if that is true, I'm very sorry, Tops. I will keep your mom in my prayers, you in my prayers, your family. If this is true, if she died, I'll do it regardless. But I won't talk about it anymore at the moment, unless I know it isn't a troll. It's not. All right. Well, I'm very sorry. Was it unexpected? I feel a little bit strange moving over to look at responses of games, but I feel like it's, we'll have the conversation. Mega Queen says, I can at least give you some peace of mind that a mid-large streamer who pulls decent numbers, no one knows his real name because he's been going by a pseudonym for years. Well, there you go. That's good. That's good. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the responses here. We've had 19 responses. I'm just gonna let you know, 19 responses to our survey. Interestingly, let's look at the three. I asked people, please select up to 3 long play games that you'd most want to see. So, in terms of choices, they were 3D Dot Game Heroes. This is a PS3 title I've had for a long time and wanted to play forever. Aquaria, a game that I've never beaten, but I loved it from day one and I want to play more of it. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD for the Switch, which is, I think, the version of Final Fantasy 15 I'd want to play. Ghost of a Tale, which is a medieval minstrel mouse. I love that alliteration. That is set in this action RPG. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Master Mode, because I've played Breath of the Wild, but not Master Mode. Oceanhorn, I have it in a physical copy on the Switch. I'll be doing an unboxing of that for a future video. We've also got, of course, Let's Go Pikachu. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Secret of Mana, the original, because that's my favorite game of all time. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, another game I'd love to play. I've never actually beaten. And Tunic, which is not actually out yet, and I don't know much about it, but I did, full disclosure, I did actually reach out to the developers and requested a review copy. We'll see. I don't know if they're gonna say yes or not, but it was worth reaching out to them, I feel. And if they don't, no harm, no foul. I do intend to pick it up at some point. And I hope it comes to the Switch eventually, but I thought it was worth reaching out and said, hey, this looks up my alley. I'd like to share this with the community. So if you're interested, let me know. So for long adventures, just when I asked for people to say the top 3 long plays, right now there is a tie between Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Master Mode. Yes, Angelo, your survey response is in here as well. Top says I should play Fortnite. That is one I'm not sure I'm going to to play on stream. I've never played it. I don't really have much interest in it. I'm just not really... That's another thing. Like, a lot of my interest in games is not going to be what is, like, top on Twitch. Except for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu right now, which I don't know how. I mean, I guess I know how. It's a popular franchise, but it still surprises me that it's so popular right now. Like, kind of seemingly out of nowhere. Anyway. But those were the top two. Those did very well with 60% of all people choosing that as a top stream. And then next up is actually Secret of Mana, and then oddly enough at the moment Final Fantasy 15 for the Switch, which I didn't expect. Kind of cool. And it looks like we've got for my survey for weeks. Bob says, I've not taken the survey, but it will come as zero surprise to you that I'd pick 3D Dot Game Heroes or Secret of Mana. It's not a surprise. Looking at this, it's a little hard. I almost wish I had done it a little differently. But yeah, I'll look at it this way. So I said, please pick up to 3 series ideas that you most want to see. And interestingly, Mascot Mayhem Month is the most interested, with about half choosing that as their one of their favorite ideas. And that would be one where I would choose, kind of spin a wheel and choose a mascot like Mario, Sonic, Crash, Spyro, Klonoa, so kind of like a big mascot, and play something from them. Or maybe a series from them or something like that. Maybe mix it up and do multiples or something. Spin the wheel each time we play a new game or something. But anyway, so that was the top. And then we also had a 3-way tie with Board Game Week, CDI Zelda Month, and Arcade Archive stream. And that would be, Board Game Week would be, originally I hadn't thought of it as the digital versions of these board games, but I actually think now it might be fun to play the actual board games, have a camera. Especially the Lord of the Rings living card game, which actually you can play solitaire, which is really cool. And then CDI Zelda Month. I mean, that's gonna happen. I just need to, and I'm really nervous to like buy a CDI right now because it's a lot of money. But with the move and everything, I'm not sure it's the right time. But I really want to get CDI Zelda, the 3 Zelda titles, which that's all gonna put me back a pretty penny. And then the Arcade Archive stream would be like a challenge stream, like I've done with the NES Classic Edition and the SNES Classic Edition, where I would just spin a wheel. There'd be like a game. I'd play it for like 15 minutes. There'd be a challenge. Maybe I'd get some other people to join me. We might have to like play with the controller behind, or upside down and backwards, or through a mirror, something like that. But all the games would be officially licensed releases of the arcade game, so not like a port that was adapted for another system, but it would be like the official game once we could get arcade perfect ports. So it'd be an arcade perfect port. I do have various methods, various compilations and things with which to do that. So that's the idea there. So yeah. And Bob says CDI Zelda games are so bad, though. I played them. I've actually, well, not played all of them, but I had a friend who had a CDI, and that's another reason I really want to get one. But I do need to track down a Game Boy Advance player and disc. This is actually becoming right now one of my most sought after things to get, is a good condition system, because I'm getting in December a device that I'm going to review that's called the RetroTink 2X. It's a line doubler to allow for playing older systems on a modern display with zero lag and a little bit better clarity. I'm hoping it's going to help me stream retro games in a little bit better quality, and I'm going to review it for other streamers for their benefit, whether this is a tool that they might want to consider. It'll allow me also to not have to put a CRT in front of me when I stream, but I can instead use my monitor because it would be zero lag. And yes, it's not going to be quite the same, and I'm always going to prefer a CRT, but it's an option, so we shall see what happens. Does anyone know, by the way, how so many people that I don't know decided to come to this stream when I started? Like, again, I don't know where like the 30 people came from. I'm confused. Did we get a raid that I missed or something? And Angelo is talking about Fortnite. How about crossplay on all systems? I still don't really know. I really wanna. Bleh. What do I say? Bleh. What was I trying to say? It's not a game I really want to play, is what I was trying to say. Bob says, you want to just buy my Game Boy player? Yeah, I do. I would love to. Bob says, obviously you're welcome to borrow it whenever, but it gets very little use on my end. No, I mean, I'm aware, like, I know I actually spoke with you before, but I mean, yes, let me put it two ways. Yes, I would definitely be interested in. I always prefer to have games and hardware with a story attached, like someone I know or something like that. But I also know that when you have like something that's yours, like something that you grew up with or whatever, or something you remember having, like that's a good attachment. And if you do enjoy it, like I totally get not wanting to sell it, so that's no problem. Bob, I'm not sure when you came in, but I'm not sure if you heard the news that that we're moving. We're actually going to be moving this summer. Yeah, like pretty far away. So we're moving to be near the near my and Ms. Mana's parents. It took a lot of thought, discernment, prayer, the whole thing, a lot of discernment, but we did want to have baby Mana be able to grow up with her grandparents like we grew up with ours. So that's the important thing. Ultimately, that's what we're doing this move for at the end of the day. So we'll be a little bit a little ways away from where we are now, a little bit further away from Nintendo headquarters, which I need to go to. Yes, Bob says, I heard you were moving, didn't realize how far. Good luck, man. We need to get together before you go. Yes, we do, and I'll definitely tell you, fill you in on all the details. And Bob says, I mean, I bought it as an adult, so I like the thing, but no nostalgia. Dude, if you're serious, I'll give you a fair price for it. I mean, just let me know you can also let me know what you think, but I'd absolutely look at the going market. I know what I kind of had been budgeting, so I can run that number by you if you are thinking about it. So Alpha says, stay out of the California fires, not safe. Yeah, don't worry, we're not going that far. But yeah, I just saw there's a YouTuber by the name of Game Hut. Well, that's his channel anyway. He used to work for Traveler's Tales, the company that made a lot of classic games, and including like working on various Genesis games. Actually worked on Mickey Mania for Genesis and Super Nintendo. And anyways, he was actually in his most recent video showing the damage to his property because of one of those fires. And Angelo asks if I have a Game Boy Advance and a Game Boy Advance SP. I've never really been a mobile gamer as much. I've always been more about the consoles. Handhelds, not as much. So handhelds, PC, mobile, all that stuff, less so. Handhelds probably the most, like after console gaming. But I have now, like my first handheld system was a Game Boy Color, which granted me access to the whole Game Boy back catalog of games. That was cool. So I did get some Game Boy and Game Boy Color games from there. My brother-in-law had a Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP later on. Not the version with the backlit screen, but the frontlit screen. And he actually indefinitely loaned me that system. And so I got some more Game Boy Advance games. But it actually, that happened after my second handheld I ever purchased or ever got. It was actually gifted from Ms. Mana to me when we were still pretty young newlyweds, young couple of newlyweds, and so she bought me the DS Lite, and of course that granted me access to the Game Boy Advance games. So I had Game Boy Advance games. Later, my brother-in-law gave me the Game Boy Advance SP. That was my next thing. He recently just said, yeah, it's yours. He's also going to give me his Game Boy Advance, which is cool, but he hasn't done it yet because he's kind of clearing out some stuff, and he knows, like, we kind of, and this is sort of the funny thing is, like, I kind of get his hand-me-down video game stuff, so I kind of chip in and give him buy him games from time to time or whatnot. Kind of just, it's the give and the take of it. I want it when it's old. He wants it when it's new, so it works. But what was the other thing? Oh, and then I got the 3DS XL, and then the new 3DS XL. And then later I went back. I got like a I think before the new 3DS XL, I got a Game Gear. So I've gotten a few different like handhelds, but you know, I still play my Switch mostly in docked mode. I'm more of a console guy. I like to sit down and play on the couch or whatnot. But I do think of the Switch, like Angelo says Switch is also a handheld. Yeah, I think it's both. Like I really do think it's a hybrid console. But I think of it more as a console than a handheld, you know? But I mean, a lot of people will say it's a handheld. Nintendo, not as much, but a lot of people will. Alpha says, I really hope everyone in the fires are okay. I know some aren't, but I really hope those will be able to get new houses. Agreed. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Scooter says, my first Game Boy Color came with Super Mario Land and Wave Race. Oh, nice. I forgot they made a Wave Race Game Boy Color game. That's funny. Bob says, I was almost in college when the GameCube came out, but I do think it's criminally underrated and fantastic. I would agree with you there. I think it's a great system. It is underrated. It came out at a weird time, I think. The PS2 was, it just dominated. And, yeah. It's unfortunate. The GameCube was a cool system. Is a cool system. Yeah, I ended up, for a while, because like I didn't actually own a GameCube when it was new. I ended up getting a Wii long before a GameCube. I didn't even get the Wii when it first came out. But we got the Wii, and we got a bunch of GameCube games, and we're kind of playing some back catalog. And later I had an opportunity. I picked up a GameCube for $5 used at a convention where people actually kind of know the value of retro hardware. So it just, I mean, it was like people just weren't really into it. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to pick one up because why not have the actual system, you know, not just play it always on the Wii. And I'm glad I did. I didn't think about it at the time, but, you know, just for this Game Boy Advance player, like, because what I want to do eventually, ultimately, is do more retro streams. And that's why I'm getting this RetroTink 2X, so... Scooter says, I'd love to see you play Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 and 3 on the GameCube. I'm pretty sure I have both of those games. I have at least one of them. I think I've got 2 for sure, and I think I've got 3. But before I do that, I'm going to play Rogue Squadron on the N64. Again, RetroTink 2X, hopefully it all works. That game might be one of my first N64... Well, no, I've played another N64 game. It might be one of my first N64 games post-RetroTink 2X, Line Doubler, that I play. It's actually one of my favorite N64 games. I put so much time into that. I really only played like 2 N64 games. Like I owned 2 N64 games for the longest time and not others. And they were Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which I put so much time into, and Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And believe it or not, there was a time when Mana actually could 100% games. I think it was a mixture of youthful ability, like I actually was better at games, right? My reflexes were better and everything, and time. And I actually have a maxed out perfect save file on Rogue Squadron, unless I deleted it, which there was a time, it was weird. I was like cleaning up on my games and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna delete the saves because I'm gonna replay these games, and then I never did. Like I deleted a perfect 100% game on Ocarina of Time, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna play it again. And I'm like, oh, why did he do that? But I'm going to try to get those 100% if I can, if I haven't already. But Rogue Squadron, yeah, I had 100%. You know, I cleared every mission. Was it triple gold rebel insignia, whatever it was. Bob says the GameCube controller had such a wonderfully ergonomic controller. I've been playing Twilight Princess with my daughter on GameCube with my Wavebird, and it feels so good. I still have yet to really play with a Wavebird. I ended up getting the Wii and then subsequently the Wii U GameCube controllers. The new ones with the long cords, the white ones. So I have 4 of those, and that's basically, those are my GameCube controllers. I don't actually have any original GameCube controllers, and I don't have any Wavebirds. It's too bad. And look at Nomadial comes in. Welcome. This is a weird time for me to stream, but thank you for being here. And I'm just chatting because why not? Bob says, also you need to get a group together and do a full stream of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Yes. Well, on Switch, there is going to be online play for the Crystal Chronicles that comes out. So I might do it that way, though it would be really cool to actually do it the proper original way, right? What was I gonna say? I don't know. Forgot. There was something I was gonna say, but I forgot what it was. Scooter got Rogue Squadron on Steam for like $3. Yeah, I think I got a lot of the various Star Wars games, like when it was all in a bundle and it was like $25 for 50 games or some ridiculous thing like that. And Angelo says, you know what? I watched a video who quit from a YouTuber who quit YouTube, but it was about the GameCube, and she says that the GameCube was ended sales by Nintendo last 2007. Could that be right? I'm not sure. Maybe. I'm actually not really sure because, yeah, I don't know. Nomadial says PS2 was better implemented and marketed than the GameCube. The brand was so solidified, it was more like a major upgrade, whereby you instantly had reverse compatibility with controllers, games, and storage. GameCube was brand new and innovative after people had already had their new gen console experience. It's a good point. Yeah, the backwards compatibility was huge. I wish the PS4 had backwards compatibility because I would have jumped on it. And I'll tell you what, if the PS5 has backwards compatibility, even with just the 4, I would probably bypass the 4 altogether at that point, even though my brother-in-law is going to let me stream on his PS4. Yeah, I would bypass that and get the PS5. And Nomadial says, yo, just getting ready to leave for work. Had stream up for a bit while you were chatting. RE hopes for future. Oh, regarding hopes. Yeah, I know what RE stands for. Derp. Regarding hopes for your future of streaming. Well, thank you, Nomadial. I do appreciate that. Bob says, I demand original hardware, 4 GBAs, and the GameCube's to run the thing. That's right, it was 4 GBAs and 1 GameCube, right? I think so. You weren't networking the Game Boy or the Game Cubes. You were just connecting the Game Boys to the GameCube. That's what it was. I forgot, but that's what it was. Scooter says, sounds right since the Wii came out in 2006. So yeah, 2007 for ending the GameCube. That's about right. Bob says that's correct. I'm correct. Good. And Angela's going to send me the link to that video. That is also good. But yeah, well, going back to, hopes for the future. Yeah, I mean, I did make this whole video, but like I took a step back from my various goals and perks for things like Patreon and stuff, because I was realizing I was definitely getting myself in trouble by overextending myself, as it were. And so instead, what I'm doing is I'm trying to limit, those things, those perks, and try to instead focus my energy on improving all of the myriad of things that I want to improve prior to this move, in which case I hope to go full-time. That's the hope. And Nomadel says the lack of a colon threw you off. Reading skill image maintained. Yes. Good. What is this? Oh, Bob says, but if you do want to network some GameCubes, we can spend $300 to get all the equipment to put 4 GameCubes together and play 16-player Mario Kart Double Dash. Oh my gosh. Alpha says, I better get to sleep. I gotta get up early tomorrow. I feel out of place in this conversation, but it's very interesting. Alpha, please, no, I hope you don't feel out of place. You very much were a very positive part of this conversation. The things you said really meant a lot to me. I want you to know that. And yeah, you're more than welcome to come and chat, ask me questions, any of that. I really enjoyed chatting with you. So Alpha, you're great. You're golden. Sleep well. I'll catch you next time. Scooter says, by the way, I got new Switch games from Black Friday. What did you get, Scooter? Angelo says, please visit my home country of the Philippines. I don't know, Angelo. I don't know. There are some places on our list of worldwide travel. I'll tell you what, if I end up becoming a multi-million-dollar streamer, I'll do a world circuit, right? But yeah, Philippines would be cool to visit. Honestly, it would be. Man, I didn't realize Double Dash let you play 16 players. That's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot that I've been so swamped just with all of the things getting the house ready for sale, finishing things up at work, all of this stuff. It's been a lot. And then, I'm still trying to stream and be a husband and father. I don't know if you know, like right now. So usually what I do, I save dishes for, because usually we eat. Sometimes I have a little bit of time to do dishes before I stream, but usually not. So like right now, I'm not done for tonight. Like once I finish this stream, which is ridiculously late at this point, I have to go and I have to do dishes, and then I have to go to bed. So Nobody says multi-millionaire as a streamer. Mana makes a funny joke. I know, right? Oh man. No, but I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for, fame, glory, money. If I could make a living doing something creative that I love, and something I think is giving back something positive to all of you, that's my goal. And it's a lot of times just trying to put that into words is hard. Oh, okay, so Scooter got LA Noire for $10. Wow, that's a pretty good deal. That game kind of looked interesting. Mutant League Football for $20. I remember you telling me about that one, and that just sounds silly. Namco Museum Arcade Pack for $20, which sounds great. That's a cool deal. And Dragon Ball Fighters for $30. That Dragon Ball Fighters is the one I would be going for, honestly. Bob says, I did love the Mutant League games back in the day. Do they hold up? And I have no idea. That I could not tell you. But just trying to think here. What was the other? Oh, I know what it was. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, the launch edition. That's the other game that I pre-ordered. Toki, which is the arcade or nostalgia, whatever they called it. It was the version that came with the little arcade that you put together. That's what I got. Oh, and Scooter also got Soul Calibur 6 for $35 on PS4. One of these days I'll play Soul Calibur 2 for GameCube. That was a cool game. Speaking of GameCube. Yeah, I always did like that. Man, oh man. I don't even know what to say. I'm getting tired, getting sleepy. Getting a little sleepy. It had Link, right? Therefore, best Soul Calibur. I think I agree with you, Bob. I think I agree with you. Yeah, it was definitely a fun game. I liked the fighting feel of it, right? Been thinking about picking up some of the other Soul Calibur games. I think I have the original on PlayStation. I think I've got one of the... I think I've got like 3. I can't remember if I have 4. Definitely don't have 5. Definitely don't have 6. But I'm thinking about picking up. I want to get also the Soul Calibur game that came out for Wii, I think it was. Soul Calibur Legends or something. Just, I don't know. It's funny because 2 is really all I have played and really enjoyed. But Bob says, yo, Toki is a thing? I remember playing that at the ice rink when I was like 5. Yes. Yes, it's a thing, Bob. It is a full remastering of the game. All new hand-drawn artwork. Looks really cool. A little stiff in the animation department, so we'll see. But the art is nevertheless beautiful. And like I said, it comes with this wooden arcade cabinet you put your Switch in. And you dock your Switch in it and you can play with it in that. So it kind of gives you the arcade nostalgia feel. That's basically what it is. So yeah, if you're at all interested, look at that. And Bob says, I must have it. Yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, look it up. So I did pre-order that because I wanted that edition. I was a sucker for the arcade cabinet. I thought, oh my gosh, like you could play it with that Namco Museum arcade pack too, right? It doesn't have to be Toki. You could do whatever you want. So I'm probably going to do some streams of that and like pack it, put it together and all that stuff. So we'll see. Is there anything anyone else wants to talk about before I wrap up? I know we had a lot of really good friends here who are hanging out, and Bob says, unfortunately I have no Switch, just can't justify the money for any next gen systems. Really, I get that, they're expensive. Or current gen. Yeah, current gen, Bob. Smash Brothers with the arcade setup, right, Scooter? That's what I could do. I still haven't pre-ordered Smash Brothers though. And I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to get that Piranha Plant because I don't know if I'm going to pre-order it. I don't think I can. I think there's just not enough money. Especially if I do what I think I'm going to do, which is basically buy the Pokemon game. Unless people convince me otherwise to get the Piranha Plant and then get the Pokemon game later. But a lot of people want me to play the Pokemon game. I want to play the Pokemon game. I'm not a huge Smash player. I think I might wait. They'll probably make the Piranha Plant DLC later on, right? Right? Maybe? Maybe not. I don't know. Probably. They kind of did with some of the Wii U DLC. So, You have until the end of January to get Piranha Plant? Really? Angelo says, well, I'm going to head out. Thanks for your kindness, Art of Mana. And Angelo, thank you so much. Bob says, don't buy Pokemon, play Secret of Mana instead. It's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. It's just a matter of when. And it was behind Pokemon and Breath of the Wild so far, but feel free to vote in the survey. Anything else? We're going to wrap up. My goodness, it is super late. Yeah, Nintendo wants that money. PD will be DLC. I think that is absolutely right. You and me, man, a Piranha Plant battle, Scooter says. At some point, perhaps. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna wait on Smash because I know a lot of people are gonna be streaming it. People who are better at Smash than me, who like the series more, who will do it justice, so no problem. Bob says, yeah, go do dishes and go Actually, Bob says, yeah, go to dishes and do some bed. I know it's late, but does not go do dishes and to bed, I think. Scooter will definitely be streaming it. See, I knew it. So I think I'd rather do like Pokemon long play, Breath of the Wild long play, something like that. I said what I said, Bob said. Bob said, I said what I said. All right, well then, in that case, thank you. Seriously, thank you all so much. This is sort of our proper outro because obviously that didn't quite go as planned. My apologies again for just the technical difficulties that we had and some of the just I hope this rambling conversation was okay. If you want more of this, let me know. But if you want any, just let me know. I need to know. I need help to know what to do. Streaming can feel isolating at times. It can, probably because feeling online, or probably because relationships online can be a little bit tough to read. Sometimes we don't know where we stand with other people. And one of the hard parts about streaming for me is figuring out where I stand with people. I really appreciate all of you who do take time to affirm me, because I think we all need affirmation, right? But also thank you to those of you who do give me honest suggestions and critiques, because those are important as well. I hope to improve more and more as a streamer. I hope that this could be something that can go pretty far, and I hope to really flex my creative muscles and grow into some of the talents that I would like to have and possess. I'd like to really highlight the history of video games in a much more involved and elaborate way. And ultimately, I also want to affirm and support all of you other incredibly talented streamers who are out there. And I know there are those of you out there. So thank you so much. And hey, tell you what. Bob says, good night, everyone. Loves and hugs all around. I think you get the final words for tonight. Love and hugs all around. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.